She don't have a phone.
Should we
You're
go
pointing
there?
your directions?
Yeah.
Okay. She's on Dolphin Street?
You seem like a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. You ever experienced depression? Sadness?
Yeah, all the time.
I mean, I know it's a sensitive subject, but when I asked about your family, you said you don't really...
How many times I done talked to her about some motherfucking depression?
And she's
This
good to
shit's
talk
just
to,
got,
huh?
like my motherfucking... It's some real shit, man. It ain't no joke.
I never really had a circle in high school in like ethnicity, financial status, social status, age 20 to oldest being 50.
And stabbed from the...
No, shy. You got
He
shot.
got shot. Oh, well, I know he's been shot and stabbed a lot. No
Over
joke.
here?
I don't know. Shot
Here,
wounds.
let's...
You won't do already started on you. No, that shit, I don't do that.
You don't fuck around with that?
Fuck that.
You know,
I-
a lot of kids that
I
do.
can't stand it. Yeah. Yeah, there's only one God though.
You do believe in it, though?
Yeah. I used to go to church at a young age.
Sad, but
I told her to go to college for social services. She says, Mama,
I'm Pej. I am out here in Alabama. I'm with my friend Chassity. Chassity found me actually on my YouTube channel. She had seen me interviewing people on the streets of Los Angeles. I was trying to help a homeless couple and a few other people, and so she reached out to me to tell me about homelessness here in Alabama. And so I told her, well, I was actually going to be coming out to Alabama on a trip for certain things, and perhaps she could maybe show me around and show me where the homeless population dwell. And she said that actually her daughter sees them and knows where they're at, and actually sometimes has interacted with some of them. So maybe we could set something like that up. So that's why in some of the films that we did earlier, you saw that we were talking to somebody that her daughter actually introduced me to. So Chassity, tell me a little bit about yourself. Who is Chassity? Like
that's
what's
a
your
great...
background?
Well, you tell... When you find out, you tell me.
I mean, I already vetted you, but like anybody could look you up, sure.
I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none, and I've worn many titles and many different faces throughout my life. I've had a really great life. I've done everything that I ever wanted to do. I'm just blessed to even be born in America. But throughout my life, I always had involvement with the homeless, having a business on Dolphin Street for 12 years.
That's down in downtown Mobile?
It is in downtown Mobile.
Mobile.
Yeah, you pronounce it.
Am I saying it right?
No, you're not. You
Okay.
say
Mobile.
Mobile,
Alabama.
Mobile, Alabama. The
Yeehaw,
city-
heaven.
Roll Tide, the best football team in the whole world.
Okay.
And but I always had a homeless population around me due to being in the downtown, which it seems like all throughout the United States, the downtown cities is where you see the homeless, and I guess that's where shelters are and that nature. But my late husband, Victor Toomer, was on the board of the Salvation Army, and every year he made a donation of the month of December. He fed the complete homeless community for Christmas, and he served on the board for the Salvation Army.
And he made a pretty large donation to be able to accommodate places like the Salvation Army and help the whole homeless population survive.
Yes, he did. He fed the entire city and surrounding cities.
So you were born and raised here?
Born and raised in Mobile, Alabama, at the Mobile Infirmary.
You're Southern Belle.
I'm Southern and I'm a Belle, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I've been called a belle.
what happens when you see homeless people that are walking the streets here? What does it do to you? How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel really grateful and blessed, and I understand that in order to be blessed, you have to bless, and it makes you feel good to give. And sometimes all somebody needs is just acknowledgement from another person. It might not even be that you're giving them $2 or $3. Sometimes just smiling at them and acknowledging them as a human being is priceless. Believe it or not, a lot of them would rather you talk to them like a normal person. They would value that as well as they would a $5 bill.
Okay.
Just acknowledging them as a human being.
So your daughter's 19 years old now. When she was much younger, if you went down to the city or wherever you went, let's say for example she was 5 or 6 years old, did she ever see the homeless people?
She did, and I have always been a giver, and my daughter has taken after me. I'm very.
Would she see you giving to the homeless?
Yeah,
What would she say about seeing a homeless person back then?
I don't think she ever differentiated the homeless from the regular population. I don't think she has ever valued a lower class or middle class in her mindset. I think my daughter sees everyone equally, and I think that is such a unique quality.
I think it's a beautiful thing.
I mean, it's
So,
amazing.
And
is what it
growing
is.
up and seeing them, what do you think it was about her that would want her to, like, why would she want to interact with those people? Because her heart goes out to them?
Her heart is so big. I mean, her heart is so big, maybe to where it might even be a fault.
Okay. You had mentioned earlier that she's kind of like Peter Pan. What describe that. What is it?
Well, I mean,
She's giving?
She is giving, and she is so giving. It's probably going to be to her detriment. I mean, she is a minimalist. She doesn't put herself as such a person that desires anything of great value. I mean, my daughter works 3 jobs, and she gives it all away.
Do you think your daughter's an empath?
I know she's an empath.
Does she take on other people's emotions, you think?
I know that she does, and
Think she's a good sounding board too? Because that one guy said, I asked him, the kid that is homeless over by the skate park, do you go through depression? Like, he put his face down and he said yes. And he goes, well, I talk to her when I go through that stuff. And I know they've only known each other a week.
And she told me it was her new best friend, and I had never seen him before, and so it was like my second time meeting him. And my daughter is very happy, and she's been really happy for the last couple of days, but I could see her happiness. I just don't think that she puts a value on people. I think that she will love you. Her value for everyone is high. I mean, she values everybody to the highest standard. If you're homeless, or if you are going to a private school,
Okay.
She values you the same, and that is such a unique quality.
Okay. So as a person myself that is a former homeless person, and I'll say this because I can. Because I was homeless, right? I was homeless. I was on drugs. I was sleeping on the streets. I was sleeping in cars. I was sleeping at people's places that would let me stay at their houses until I wasn't welcome anymore, unless I had the types of drugs that were available. But when you talk about having values in life, I didn't personally, I didn't have a lot of values as a man that was living on the streets because I didn't even know what having values was like what the importance of that was. So I would engage with or affiliate with or hang out with people that were definitely not the type of people that my mother had raised me to be around, because they didn't carry any values. Therefore, I didn't carry any values. They were lower companions, and before I knew it, I was a lower companion too. So that's just the type of people that we were. So often it was I put myself in dangerous situations because there were certain people doing certain things that people try to come up on each other. Sometimes people would, if I had something more than somebody else, whether it be drugs or some kind of items that somebody felt that they could take advantage of me to be able to get to their advantage, then there would either be arguments, fights, things like that. Do you think when your daughter, if and when she hangs around any of those types of people that are out there living as homeless people, do you think that she's in harm's way?
Of course I do. Of course I do, because you see such a high rate of mental illness, drug use, and with that combination, you have crime within the homeless community. I mean, my greatest fear is my daughter getting into a friendship with somebody who will harm her because they cannot help their own mental capacity. That is a very realistic thought. It's a genuine concern, absolutely.
And she's a beautiful young lady that,
Yeah, she's pretty.
She's pretty.
She's
See,
pretty.
like I got a friend back home that
And she's
he
tiny.
had put together a few years of sobriety.
Yeah.
He has a glass eye. He decided to go and start smoking weed, and then he went and started smoking speed. And the next thing you know, he lost his home, he lost his job, and then he was walking the streets, and the next thing you know, he was unrecognizable. He had a full-on beard, his hair had grown out, and he took his glass eye out. This had happened recently, like
Okay.
less than a month ago.
All right.
Took his glass eye out, put it in his backpack
Okay.
with all of his belongings, went to go sleep on the asphalt, and wanted to use the backpack as a pillow. Woke up to someone trying to steal his backpack, put up a fight so that he wasn't going to let that person get. Person took off with the backpack, all of his personal belongings, his ID, and his glass eye, and even the glass eye. So you think about, like, this is just one situation. Homeless steal from homeless.
Yes.
So when you have somebody who, I mean, your daughter isn't homeless, right? But if she's hanging out amongst those people, do you think there might be sometimes, or it could happen, like it was one of your fears, that someone could get jealous and think, well, she's got more than us.
It would be very hard for someone to be jealous of my daughter because she's incredibly humble, and she's a minimalist. She does not wear $100 shoes. Her shoes come from the Goodwill. Her clothes come from the Goodwill.
Okay.
And I hope that her cohorts will recognize that she's a Goodwill shopper.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's not driving a brand new fancy car. She's not wearing diamond rings. She doesn't, you know, she's a minimalist. She's very humble.
Yeah, you know, in the short amount of time that I met her, I love her personality. This is what I'm all about empowerment. I vibe with her. You know, like what I would like to see
Everybody
for her
vibes
is
with Ivy. Yeah.
is her to eventually become educated, go to school, and perhaps become somebody that can provide services to the homeless or to people of like less fortunate people.
He's somebody who needs a support system, a friendship, knowledge, information, certain offices to go to, transportation, a sandwich, $2 or $3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she will fit in where she's supposed to, I'm quite sure. I am very proud of her for being involved in social services, but I also have a fear in social services like anybody would, and I just trust that the Lord will give her discernment and cover her, and I'm going to keep my faith, and I know that everything will turn out as it should and such, and I think that she will impact this world, and it will be a better place because she walked on this earth.
Right. So when it comes to homeless people, there are people that give to the homeless in many different ways. Some people like to give homeless people money. Me personally, as a person that was homeless, when I got money, I did certain things with it that food was like the last thing on my list of things to get when it came to, because money came easy when it came for food, but usually if I said the right thing to people, I knew I would get enough money to be able to use whatever it was, whether it was alcohol or drugs. There is something that I want to talk about real quick before we wrap this segment up that was of great importance. My mentors taught me this when I was newly sober, and I sometimes say it to some of the people that I try to either sponsor in 12-step world or just people that I'm coaching and helping, is go to homeless people, interact with them. even if they seem like they're incoherent or they can't talk, connect. That's a human being. You're nothing short of being in their position one day if you don't be careful. They come from all walks of life. That is somebody's kid. Somebody's child at the end of the day.
Somebody's brother.
However you want to give to the homeless, give. But my mentors used to say, go ask them if they're hungry. Ask them if they want a sandwich. It's just like you were mentioning earlier. I had a friend that in Costa Mesa, California, that would do this thing every Sunday and just make a whole bunch of sandwiches and go out and give sandwiches out. But ask them how long they've been on the streets. Ask them if they have a plan to get off of the streets. Ask them if they know how to implement that plan. Ask them if you can help them. Go to soup kitchens. Serve food to people. Don't even think for a second of your life that you're there serving those people because you're helping them. The reality of it is that they're helping you.
That's correct.
Because you're doing God's bidding and God's work, however you want to view it. If you're not a believer of God, I know plenty of atheist people that also are of service to people and don't go talk about it and seek validation and recognition and all that stuff. The fact that your husband, God rest his soul, was so giving. I admire when people donate and help out of the kindness of their heart without having to stamp their name on the side of it. Rather, they just do it because it's the right thing to do. We often say it in our recovery world. You want to build your self-esteem? Do esteemable acts. Go out and give. Be giving. Around
feels good.
Holidays are the best time. We have a couple of friends that are in Southern California that have put together a thing where we put together holiday gift baskets, everything, food, all that stuff, and we go out and we find these people, and we don't go up to them and say who we are or what we do. We just want to let them know that we love them and we're thinking about them, and we know it gets cold at night.
Yes, that is a quality that I see in my daughter, and it's not necessarily money that is her strong point. It is her ability to see them as humans and to have genuine care and concern for them as a human being.
Also know this, if you have a loved one that is homeless, that's on the streets, and you think they're too far gone to ever be helped, please never give up. I believe that was thought about me when I was homeless, but my mother's prayers were answered. I got off the streets, I got out of the jail systems, I got this big, huge, beautiful life. And we do live in a beautiful country, right? Like, this is a great place to live. But I don't feel that people need to be lost in the abyss of addiction or alcoholism or homeless on the streets forever. There are answers to every problem. If you're somebody that you know is struggling, you can always call me at 310-596-9356. We'd just love to be able to talk to you. Thank you.
Good job, Pej.
It's Pej. We are back from Alabama at LAX. We just landed. It was a long flight. It was a very interesting trip. I think there's probably going to be a part 2, but we learned a lot about Alabama, some of the homeless population, and then, things that happen individually within certain people's homes and the types of stuff that's going on out there as far as addiction. That's what I can say. It was an exciting trip, learned a lot, saw a lot, experienced a lot, and now we are back, and more will be revealed as what's to come out of this trip.